Hi there. My name is Bonnie from the Family Continuum. I'm a registered therapeutic counselor and I primarily work with families. And I've been getting emails recently about how to handle the topic of the COVID virus in general with kids and just how best to work with it in your family. So, yeah, I was at the bank today and the bank teller said her son is just about to turn 8 and he has a birthday party and they may have to cancel it. And she was asking, how am I going to talk to my 8-year-old about this? So these are really important questions that are arising right now. And so I felt inspired to share some ideas that I have around that to support your family in the best way possible. Um, the first being, you know how they say when you're on the airplane, even though people aren't flying anymore, put your own mask on first. That is, of course, so that you can have oxygen and you can breathe properly, and then you can help your children. So I think in some ways that's probably the most important one, is your children are picking up on your fear and your anxiety, and probably they might be acting out because of it. That energy kind of comes up in our body and we need to do something with it, and often kids will act out. And so whatever way that you can do to source yourself and really support your anxiety, now is to kind of ramp all those things up a little bit. If you have a regular yoga practice or meditation practice, at the end of this video, I'll give you a couple of ways that you can support yourself right now in this moment that might be helpful for you daily. And you might be able to share them with your kids as well, depending on their age. So I think that's a really important one. The second one is, you know how they often say kids have big ears. Kids are listening to our conversations. They're listening to the news, even though it may not look like they're paying attention to it. They're listening to your conversations you're having on the phone with your friends and your family and your neighbor and the person in the grocery store. And kids don't have the capacity to filter things out or discern or really fully have their full faculties to understand what's really going on. And they may be developing their own anxiety around it, as well as just a distorted view of what's actually happening. So just to be mindful of that, to be mindful of keeping those conversations to a minimum when you're around your children, and having those more adult conversations when they are not around, I think will really support them to not get to, not to increase their anxiety. The third way is to just remember that you are the answer for your children. You are their protector. You are the one who they are going to want to really lean into. Especially now, you hold the container for them to do that. And so the overriding message, even though you may not feel it in your heart right now or in your body, to give them that sense that you're standing tall and strong and that you've got this. Even if you feel like you haven't, even if you feel like you have to fake it, you want to try and convey that to them, that my job is to keep you safe, my job is to protect you, my job or our job is to protect our whole family, and we're going to do that. And so, you're giving them that nonverbal message that they can lean into you. The fourth thing is, I've had a couple parents email me about how do I talk to my child about this. So what I would say about that is, you know your child better than anyone else. Of course, I can't really tell you what to tell your 6-year-old, but try to be mindful that they can only take short bits of information in at a time, and see if you can make it age appropriate. What you tell your 5-year-old is not what you're going to talk to your adolescent about. But I would really recommend that no matter how old your child is, even if they're a baby or a toddler, they may be feeling some of what you're feeling. And it's good to in some way name it. You're connecting with your baby and you're having a playful moment and you say, you might be feeling some things from me right now. And I want you to know that this has nothing to do with you. So what you're letting your baby know, or what you're letting your child know in some way, is that you've got this, and their job is just to be a kid and not take on this adult, these adult places, to not take any responsibility on around what we're feeling. So take your cues off your child. If you start to talk to your 10-year-old about what's going on, and you see them start to glaze over or get agitated or play with their pencil and tap it against the table, maybe that's a cue that they've had enough. So I would say just short little pieces of information at a time. Watch their cues to know what they're ready for, and make sure that it's age appropriate. And with your adolescent, you may be able to have a much more adult conversation about it. And particularly if they're older, ask them what they know about it already, because through that you may find that they have some distorted views on what's going on that you may be able to help them with. So keep it real and keep it factual. And with a toddler, you may just say, there's a nasty bug going around and we're going to keep you safe. So that brings me to the fifth one, which is a family meeting. I think it's great to have family meetings anyway, and I'll do another video about that specifically, but family meetings, it can be called a safety meeting, just so that you can talk about, this is what we're going to instill in this family right now with what's going on. We're going to wash our hands more, and I'm sure you're doing that already, but if you can instill that as a habit, as soon as we come back into the house, we all go up into the bathroom, we all wash our hands. And for the younger kids, you can make it fun. You can sing a song. Everything with kids is a game, right? So if you make it fun, it'll be fun for them. So those are my 5 tips. A couple of ways that you could support yourself right now if you find that you're in a place of anxiety and kind of jumping out of your body yourself and not very present because there's so much buzz going around. A couple things that might be helpful. One is, of course, our breathing, right? Come back to your breathing. I had to check in with myself quite a few times today when I was out, because I realized as I was seeing people in the grocery store and talking to people that I could feel myself getting, I was stopping my breathing. So one great visual that you can use for yourself, and also might be helpful for your kids, is to imagine a box. So let's just do it right now. If you want, invitation is there to breathe in for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 4 counts. Breathe out for 4 counts. And hold for 4 counts. So you just imagine a little box. I felt like that calmed me down right there. And the second one is, oftentimes when a crisis happens like this, we can just kind of go right out of our bodies. So embodiment becomes really important. It helps our nervous system to settle, and it helps us know that we're here right now in this present time. So I'll invite you just in this moment to check in this moment. Am I safe right now? And what tells me that I'm safe? So for me, I'm sitting at my kitchen table talking to you. I can feel my butt on the bench where I'm sitting. I can feel my elbows resting on the table. I can feel my hands clasping each other. And I can look around my kitchen and hallway and part of the living room and see that everything is actually okay right now, that I am safe. And that helps me take a bigger breath and feel my body a bit more. So that's something that you could practice, present time awareness, PTA, at any time of the day. Hope that's helpful. Please comment below if you have any comments or questions or things that you're doing in your family that you're finding helpful. Like the video if you want. Subscribe, even better, because I'll be putting out more videos that might support you during this time. And yeah, hang in there. Okay, Take care.